A Grad multiple launch rocket system crew from the Vostok Group of forces carried out a precision strike against enemy UAV control infrastructure in the Zaporizhzhia region. The targets were identified through reconnaissance as key coordination points supporting drone operations in the area. Following the receipt of exact coordinates, the rocket artillery unit delivered a concentrated salvo that destroyed the control posts. The strike disrupted enemy UAV activity, reducing their ability to conduct reconnaissance and direct attacks along this sector of the front. Russian aerospace forces conducted a series of airstrikes against identified Ukrainian military targets in a coordinated sequence. In the first operation, a FAB 250 aerial bomb was used to strike a temporary deployment site of the armed forces of Ukraine's 1st Border Detachment in the area of Nestornoye. This was followed by a FAB 500 strike on a temporary deployment site belonging to the 152nd Separate Mechanized Brigade near Novoalexandrivka. The final strike in this sequence targeted a Ukrainian UAV control post operated by the 414th Separate UAV Brigade in the area of Vesyoloye, also using a FAB 500 bomb. As a result of sustained offensive operations, assault detachments of the 34th Separate Guards, motorized rifle brigade from the Sever Group of forces, established control over the settlement of Popovka in the Sumy region. The advance was carried out through coordinated actions on the ground, allowing units to secure key positions and stabilize the area. Working in close cooperation with artillery units and unmanned systems operators, the assault teams are now reinforcing the security zone. These measures are aimed at strengthening control over the territory and improving overall safety in the area, reducing threats posed by armed forces of Ukraine formations. Following previous attacks, Geran loitering munitions continued their work, striking an additional designated object in the Odessa area. Objective control footage confirms the successful approach and detonation on the target, causing significant damage. These follow-up strikes are part of a sustained campaign aimed at systematically pressuring enemy infrastructure and rear area assets. The continued use of Geran UAVs highlights their role in delivering repeated, precise hits and maintaining constant operational pressure across the region. Meanwhile, a Geran strike also targeted a Ukrainian UAV control site in the village of Shevchenkove-Pershe, Kharkiv region. Objective control footage confirms the hit on the facility used to support drone operations. In the area of Veliki Prokody, Kharkiv region, Ukrainian Armed Forces 2S3, Akatsiya self-propelled artillery units were detected and struck. Precision engagement disabled the guns and removed them from combat use, further reducing enemy artillery activity in this sector. UAV teams engaged a wide range of enemy assets during the operation, striking motor vehicles and armored hardware, neutralizing ground-based robotic systems, and disabling elements of communication networks. Drone operators also targeted temporary deployment areas of the armed forces of Ukraine and intercepted enemy UAVs used for reconnaissance, strike missions, and support roles. Across several sectors of the front, drone units carried out coordinated strikes against positions of the armed forces of Ukraine. In the Kramatorsk-Druzhkovka direction, FPV drone operators from the Volunteer Corps within the Yug Group of forces disrupted an attempted troop rotation, hitting targets as they moved along exposed routes. On the Krasnoarmysk axis, operators from the Center Group of forces destroyed a fortified stronghold and knocked out communication antennas, weakening enemy coordination and battlefield awareness. Further south, FPV drone teams of the Dnieper Group of forces struck a pickup truck and a concealed M777 howitzer on the right bank of the Dnieper River in the Kherson region. Meanwhile, in the Zaporizhzhia region, attack UAV operators from the Vostok Group of forces hit a temporary deployment area used by Ukrainian units, continuing systematic pressure on enemy positions and rear infrastructure. Drone and air defense units are actively hunting down and neutralizing Ukrainian UAVs over the Zaporizhzhia region. Continuous monitoring of the airspace allows rapid detection and interception of enemy drones attempting reconnaissance or strike missions. As a result of coordinated actions, multiple UAVs were taken out, reducing the enemy's situational awareness and limiting their ability to adjust fire or conduct attacks. Geran UAVs carried out strikes on key energy infrastructure in multiple regions. In the area of the settlement of Voronezh in the Sumy region, a 110 kilovolt electrical substation was hit, disrupting local power distribution. In a separate operation, Geran strike drones targeted the 150 kilovolt Armalit substation in the Zaporizhzhia area. The strike caused significant damage to the facility, further impacting the stability of the regional power network. In the area of the settlement of Trostianets in the Sumy region, Geran kamikaze UAVs were used to strike railway infrastructure and a train transporting military equipment of the armed forces of Ukraine. The attack disrupted rail traffic and logistics, resulting in damage to both the tracks and the rolling stock involved in the transfer of equipment to frontline areas. The Lancet S self-propelled artillery system of the Vostok Group of forces delivered effective fire against positions of the armed forces of Ukraine. As a result of the strike, enemy strongholds were dismantled, and enemy positions at the targeted locations were neutralized, further weakening defensive capabilities in the area. Specialists of the Rubikon Center continue to demonstrate a high level of skill in conducting precision strikes using FPV drones. Their operations are built on constant reconnaissance, rapid target identification, and immediate engagement, leaving the enemy with little time to react. Every sortie is carefully coordinated, turning aerial observation into decisive firepower on the battlefield. FPV drone teams systematically target enemy motor vehicles and artillery guns, disrupting mobility and fire support. At the same time, strikes are carried out against communication and electronic warfare systems, degrading command, control, and coordination. Particular attention is given to armed forces of Ukraine UAV command posts and temporary deployment areas, which are identified and neutralized before they can influence frontline operations. Also, Rubikon operators actively destroy dugouts and shelters used for concealment, as well as enemy UAVs of various types. Through these continuous and precise actions, the Rubikon Center maintains constant pressure on enemy positions, undermines their operational stability, and supports the overall momentum of forces along the front. Aviation units of the 11th Guards, Air Force, and Air Defense Army, operating as part of the East Group of Forces, carried out combat missions along the Vremivka axis. Airstrikes were conducted against identified enemy positions in the areas of the settlements of Gorkoy, Lyubitskoye, and Komsomolskoye. The operations were aimed at suppressing defensive nodes and disrupting enemy activity in this sector, supporting ground forces engaged along the line of contact. Air reconnaissance units of the Sever-Phi Brigade detected enemy movement toward the front line. After advancing, the group halted in a wooded area, using the terrain for concealment and a brief pause. Strike drones were promptly dispatched to the location and conducted a coordinated engagement from multiple directions. Following the strike, the enemy formation was disrupted, and attempts to withdraw deeper into the forest were observed. A Lancet loitering munition, operated by units of the 6th Army, successfully struck an enemy radar installation in the area of the settlement of Nechvolodovka. As a result of the precision strike, the Rada radar station was disabled, reducing the enemy's ability to conduct surveillance and coordinate operations in the sector. Video shows a Geran UAV strike on an electrical substation in the settlement of Hubenika, Dnipropetrovsk region. The objective control video captures the moment the target is hit, resulting in significant damage to the facility and disruption of the local power infrastructure. Still in the Zaporizhzhia region, drone reconnaissance units detected enemy positions concealed along a tree line and inside nearby buildings. The targets were identified quickly, and precise coordinates were immediately transmitted to the artillery units of the Vostok Group of forces. Meanwhile, an Akatsiya self-propelled artillery crew promptly engaged the designated area, delivering accurate fire that dismantled the identified strongholds. The enemy positions were neutralized, and combat operations in the sector continued without pause. Last, objective control footage shows a Ukrainian howitzer being taken out in the Kharkiv region by successive strikes from multiple fiber optic guided drones. The coordinated attack ensured reliable target engagement and complete neutralization of the artillery system. That's all for today's update. Thanks for watching, and don't miss our upcoming videos.